Hey guys, welcome back. Part 6 now of the Tamiya Land Rover build. This is the CC-01 radio controlled Tamiya Land Rover 90, this kit here. So all going together very, very well. So then, in part 5 we built the axle. Here's the axle here. And basically now in part 6 we're going to build up the rear suspension, add the rear body mounts, and then fit the rear axle into the chassis, I guess. So as I say, it's going to be like a half-hour, 40-minute video, and then we'll see how far we get. So we've got the axle there, so we don't need that yet. Here we're going to need these parts, so let's get these parts laid out like we normally do. So we've got a grub screw here times 1, so and that's going to be a black grub screw because we can see it shaded in, so we've got it there. Then we've got these ball sockets with a hexagon on them. We need 2 of them. There's 2 of those. MB4, 2 little washers. 2 of those. 3x30 screw, and we can see again it's shaded in, so it's going to be a black screw. You can check it there. You're going to need 2 of those. Oops. MC5, not MC hammer. MC5 is a ball. We need 4 of those, so we've got 4 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we've got a universal joint we require, which is here. There's a universal joint. So there we are, that's all that done. Right, so let's get all this together. Now we're going to need our Allen keys. So we've got our Allen keys in here. That's going to be the right size for that one. These actually came with the kit, so you don't need to get any Allen keys. So we're going to actually, first of all, add the universal joint onto the axle. So what we'll do is we'll take the universal joint. It doesn't matter which way around it goes, it's the same both ways. Okay, and we're going to put this grub screw in the hole, he says. Might be easier if I put it on the end of the Allen key. So put that grub screw in the hole like so. There we go. Now just screw it out so it's just coming out a little bit, because that way you can guarantee that it's going to get on the flat. You need the screw like it shows here. You've got a flat on here. The grub screw needs to be on that flat. So if you put it in, if you put the screw in too far, okay, you won't get it on at all wherever you go. Alright, so it just needs to be wound in so that it's just showing through the hole, and then it will slide on. And then what you can do is, what I always do is just nip it, okay, just literally very gently nip it, so it's hardly, then slightly back it off and then just wiggle it around just to make sure you are on the flat. Believe me, I won't say, but a company I used to work in, not Rolls-Royce, guys there could not grasp this, and they would put stuff on and clamp it on the circular part, and it just, the flat's there for a reason. The flat's there to, 1, help drive, and 2, it's to give more contact area for the screw. So yeah, it's very important that the screw is actually on that flat. Okay, so that's that done. Right, now we're going to move over to here. We need these trailing arms. So they're here. So we'll cut these off of the screw. They're nice Tamiya cutters, so we get a nice clean cut. Like so. There we go. That's all the plastic parts we need by the look of it. So no cleanup required on there, absolutely fine. So that way up, well, we put these balls in first. It's showing us here with the pliers to put the balls in. So the balls are going to go in from the underneath, so we may as well turn it over. And we'll put the ball like that. Now I reckon rather than using pliers, I reckon it'd be better to get something like this and push it down in. The trouble with using pliers, there's always the chance it will fly off, and also your pliers, because they're narrow, they'll damage the plastic here. So that would be my suggestion, is to do it like that. Take something flat I mean, you could use the side of a screwdriver, you could use the end of your tweezers, push down on there like that and snap those into place. Now if you are a youngster doing this, get an adult to do that because you probably won't have the strength to put them in. So we'll put these in as well. You can see it just wants to roll off all the time. Wow, that one's tough. There we go. Whew. They take some pushing and they sit in there lovely, like so. So we've got that way up. Now what it's telling us to do here is to take our axle, and we're going to have the axle this way up, so our screws, you can see our screws are facing up, and it's saying note the sides, so it's telling you to look for these two lugs here. They should be facing upwards. Okay, so we've got our axle in front of us here, like so. You can see I'm doing this step here. Then we're going to take the MC2 screw, and that's going to go through that ball, that way up, with this leg here pointing downwards. Then we're going to take the washer, put it on there. That washer is important, it stops the ball digging into the plastic on the axle. And then that's going to go on there like so, and then we'll turn that over, and then we're going to thread that one onto there, that MA11, and we can use our box spanner to nip that up. We need a screwdriver on that side, so what we can do is hold the box spanner like so, get the screwdriver and just tighten it up, and make sure they are properly tightened up. Everything's metal here, so you can't damage anything, but you don't want that coming undone, because if you lose that screw in the park or wherever you're playing, then you'll probably struggle to find it again. So that screw's going to go in there, that washer's going to go on there, through the axle, screw the ball onto the back, like so, give it a nip with the spanner, and then what we'll do now is put the axle down like this, give that a proper tighten up. Okay, so there we go, so that's that in place. So that is step 16 done. So we've now got our trailing arms on, so that can go to one side, and now we need to get our body back. We need to concentrate on this step 17, and for this we're going to need two of the long screws, which were here, no mistake in them, and then two of the MB1s, and we can see here they're dark in colour. All this rolling off the bench, so I'm going to put them sideways like so. So we've got two of those, and then we're going to get these plastic parts. So we want the D4 C then here. You can see on there you've got the number 4 here, so we need them, and then we're going to need here we go, 2 M5s. So cut 2 of these off. And an M4. And there's another M5 here. Right, So now we'll clean up those sprue nibs with our knife. As I say, don't do as I do. There are many ways to use a knife, and the way I use it is probably not one of them. And also remember, with knives, the blunter it is, the more likely it is to cut you. Or the more blunt it is, should I say, sorry. There we go, that's that all cleaned up. So what we've got to do now is assemble this. So we need to get these parts off here. And I'm going to take a sanding stick and just round off those ends nicely. Okay, so now we're looking at the way this is up. You can see on here that you've got these little legs on the inside. They're going to go upwards, and then we've got this part here going on, and we're going into the rear holes. So we've got two sets of holes here. We're going to go into the rearmost ones, like so, and like so, like that. And then these long screws are going to go up underneath, again through the rearmost holes. And then this post, I've just noticed I've got sprue nibs on there. And this post is going to go up in there. And screw into the D4. If you push it up, that's what happens. You need to basically keep the D4 down over those tabs, and that'll stop it all spinning on you. And because it's a fairly fine thread, this is going to take forever to wind in. There we go, that's that in. I'm struggling to hold that in. This is one of those jobs you need 3 hands for, I think. Oops. There we go. So that's that assembly built up, like so. And now we've got to add this to the body. And it's showing us where to put the screws. So we've got a multitude of holes here to choose from, but we actually need these 2 here to screw it into. And they're going to go into the foremost holes there, the forwardmost holes, should I say. So we're going to put the chassis down, and we're going to line up the forward holes like so. I think it's going to clip together. And then we're going to take one of these screws down in there. And then use the weight of the model to hold the part in. And I'm just going to put a screw in this side, just to get it started. and then go, and then we'll do the same on this side. There we go. That's in nice and firm. Remember, it goes into the forwardmost holes. I'm not sure that one's pulled down properly. Just give it a little nudge. There we go. Right, so that's that in. And now we've got posts on both ends of the body, so we can hold it upside down level now rather than having it all high up on the front. So, moving swiftly on, we can fit the rear axle to our frame. So I'm going to put this to one side for a second. I'm going to get the parts we need. So we need an MA5, which we can see is shaded in grey, so that's going to be that one there. I'll put it over here. An MB4 ×2, like so. MC3 ×2, there we go, like so. And then we've got some spare parts there because we finished and we're going to be moving on to D next. So we've got spare parts in there, they can go in the spares box. And another 2 empty trays. Plastic parts, we're going to need 2 D6s. So here's the D sprue. And we're going to need 2 of these, part 6. Like so. There we go, that's like that together. And then what we're going to do now is get our body, and then we're going to add, what I'll do first of all is I think I will add D6 onto these balls here. So this is going to take a bit of effort to push on, I think. Cool, yeah. You go on with a bang. Right. And then I'm going to add, wow, I cannot push that on there, so it's probably a better idea. I think it would be a better idea if you can get these off of here. Yes, you can. I think it would be a far better idea to have that down on the bench and then push the axle down into it, like so, because they are way too tight to squeeze in with your fingers. And then I'm basically going to now fit these again. Wow, this is so tight. I cannot put them on. I'm sorry if this is off camera, guys, but I'm just trying to get in a position where I can actually do it. There we go. Right, so that's them snapped in. I would suggest, as I say, put them on the bench, press them on the axle first. Here, perhaps get a piece of metal or something to spread the area so it's not hurting your thumbs, but they will go on. Just need a bit of a push, that's all. And then here we've got to attach the prop shaft, and we've got to fit the front of our trailing arms. So we can roll the axle back, and again what I'm going to do here is grab the Allen key, Now, just the same as I said before, I'm going to put the grub screw in. So it's in a couple of turns, just like that. And then we can turn it to line up. And then I'm not tightening that screw yet. Then I'm going to get you can see here we need 2 of the washers on these 2 screws, and they're going to go to hold the front of the trailing arm in. So the screw's going to go through the ball, a washer on there. Now you need to make sure that prop shaft is in before you do this. Actually, you may be able to get it in. Let me try. You may. Oh. Where did that washer go? There it is. This is one of those times where you really want to have done it before off camera so you know how things are going to go, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get that. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get that into there with the axle in place. So I'm going to put it in now. What I'm going to do, I had forgotten we've got a sliding joint, so I'm going to put it in now, push it all the way in, and as I said before, wiggle it. And then we'll tighten up the grub screw like so. And I can carry on then and put this screw in here. Okay, so that's in there. It's still not all the way in. There we go, that's in now, that's firm. And do the same on the other side. Put the screw through. Put the washer on the screw. Try and do this so you can see what I'm doing, and then get the screw to go into that hole. That'll keep everything square. And screw it. There's a lot of long screws in this one, I'm sorry. Okay, so that's all done up, and now you can see we've got our rear axle in place, plenty of articulation, but it is all a bit sloppy. So so that's our rear axle in place, and everything is working lovely. So there we go, guys, that's been part 6. So next part 7, we're going to move on to building these shock absorbers and then filling them with oil. So look forward to seeing you in part 7, and stay tuned. Bye for now.